We are recording.
Okay, great, 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 great. Okay. So next up, we have Jen Lehner, and she's going to talk about digital strategies to grow your business. Jen is a really badass digital marketing strategist. She's a university professor, and she's the creator of The Front Row. That's where motivated entrepreneurs learn the latest, most powerful tactics and strategies in social media marketing and the digital world in general. She creates really great online courses and trainings that teach busy entrepreneurs how to use social media and digital tools to grow their businesses. And I will say, both Belinda and I have working with Jen has had an enormous impact on our businesses, a huge positive impact. So I could go on and on, but I'm not going to. I'm going to turn it over to Jen because that's what you came here for. So Jen, I turn it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lisa and Belinda and everybody here. I see a lot of familiar faces and some new faces, and it's so good to see you. And, you know, I just have so much stuff I want to share with you, but I just decided to go with strategic content creation. And then at the end of this, there's a few other like little just rando things I tagged on because I wanted to tell you about them. So I think there will be time. But you guys, if I run long, just interrupt me and I'll shut up. Okay, so let me share my screen. Oh, you got to give me permission. Sorry. That's all right.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. Okay, are you seeing my cover slide?
Yes.
And it's like a fire?
Yeah, but now we see your presenter view.
Okay, hold on.
I know.
All right. All right, share. Okay, I got it. I got it. I think I'm in charge now of the situation.
Okay, good.
Okay, all right. And you don't see the presenter box, correct?
No, you're good.
Okie dokie. All right, strategic content creation, cozy by the fire. So I think that this time of year is really a wonderful time to enjoy planning content, our schedule, our promotional calendar, planning all the things. And it's also a time when I like to catch up on all my e-learning, whether it's a YouTube video that I've saved or somebody's blog post or an e-course that I need to revisit. And I thought today would be a really wonderful time to capitalize on this cozy time that we're headed into between that and the lockdowns. And I basically just wanted to chat with you about a few things that I think you could do for your business that you could work on curled up by the fireplace with your tea or your coffee or your tequila, whatever. And we're just going to call this cozy work. Okay. Does that sound good? I love cozy work. All right. So I think one of the biggest frustrations that we have as business owners is getting the attention of large numbers of people or large numbers of the right people. And business is really all about numbers at the end of the day, right? We don't end the year and go, woohoo, I made no money or I lost money, but it was fun. It was worth it. We don't do that. And if we did do that, it's not a business, it's a hobby, right? And the point of business is to be profitable. Even a nonprofit has to sustain itself and make money so that they continue to serve others for their mission. So we could all agree on that, right? So in order to make money, we have to create offers. And this seems really obvious, but yet every day I meet people who have no offers, or they might have one offer, or maybe they have a few offers, but they rarely present the offer. So if we only present our offer here and there, or we only present them to a small number of people, then statistically, mathematically, we are simply less likely to sell, or we're just going to sell a lot less, right? So following this logic, we need to present more offers to more people to be profitable. But it's the more people thing that often trips us up because there's so much noise out there. How do we get people to see our offers? Well, that is where content marketing comes in. You have heard this before. And that is, the idea is that you create content that helps solve a problem for your ideal client. And then the client begins to follow you, she subscribes to your email list, or she joins your Facebook group, and eventually this person becomes a client or a customer. And this really does work. You see proof of that right here in this Zoom room right now, all around you. I see lots of faces who I know, and I am familiar with their content. We've got several excellent content marketers in this room, but even for the best of us, it can be really challenging. It's time consuming, and sometimes it's really confusing to know what to post and when to post it and where to post it. So today I want to show you some new ways to think about creating your content and using social media so that it not only helps you grow your business and your audience and getting people to see more of your offers, but so that you can start thinking of this stuff as fun and not as torture, okay? Not as just this giant looming to-do that has been hanging over your head for so long. You're gonna get a handle on this and you're gonna love it, all right? So here's an overview of what I call the Front Row CEO content creation system. And we actually start with the offer. The offer drives the content. Okay, so you see that on the far right. That's actually the beginning, is the offer. So for example, I have a program that teaches people how to hire their very first virtual assistant. Now, if I came right out of the gate and I was like, hey, everybody, I've got this great course, buy it. Will you buy it, please? You know, and even however slick my sales page is and my graphics and everything else, it's really going to be hard to sell it, because I have to convince my audience first that they even need a virtual assistant. And that's what my content is going to do. I'm not selling in my content, I am educating, okay? So I'm asking you guys, and this is why I wanted to know, I asked in the chat, like, what you do. I wanted to get a sort of sense of what your businesses were. Now I want to ask you to think about your offer, or one of your offers, or your next offer that you're going to be presenting. What is it that your audience needs to believe, to be on board with before they purchase? All right, no need to overthink it. Just put it in the chat and tell me what you think they need to believe in order to purchase your offer. Sometimes it's something just very fundamental, right? Like maybe you are a virtual assistant. So then therefore your ideal client needs to believe that maybe the big challenge with your audience is that they think they can't afford a virtual assistant. So maybe it's that you have to convince them that they can indeed afford a virtual assistant, or even better, they can't afford not to hire a virtual assistant, something like that. So let me look at the chat and take a peek, see what we've got. Okay, hold on. Catching up. They need to know that they can tame their fear of public speaking. They need to believe that I know how to help them as a VA. They need to know that they can, they need to believe they can benefit tremendously by working with a financial professional. They need to know they need to work out, they need to know they need to work out of their house. Okay, and so many, a company, they need to believe a photo session is easy and fun. They need to know they will save time and effort by attending my program. All right, good stuff. You guys, you totally get it. You know what we're doing here, okay? So, okay, so, and also it might be that you offer the same thing year round. So like you sell insurance, you always sell insurance. That is always going to be your offer. That is okay. Your content will always be about educating people on the importance of insurance in one form or another. And you can make it relevant to the seasons or to world events or whatever. All right, now let's dive into the system itself. Now, Nika is going to put a link. My assistant Nika is here in the room somewhere, and Nika is going to put in the chat a link to a really wonderful PDF. I think you're going to love this worksheet, and it is it's a content planner for the month of December. Okay, and also there is, I'll show you, we're also going to put a link in there to if you're a spreadsheet kind of person, we're going to put a link to the spreadsheet version of this. We're also going to give you a link to a Trello board if you like Trello. So we got it all formats covered. want to tell you before I forget that if you're going to work on the fillable PDF, when you're saving your work, click the print icon, change the destination to PDF, and then save it as a PDF. Otherwise, you're going to lose all of the content that you put in here. Okay. Also, this is being recorded, right, you guys? Okay. So I don't want you to worry too much because I'm going to go through this kind of quickly. But when you actually sit down to work on this content, you're going to be able to come back to this video and it'll guide you. Okay. So, and this is what the PDF looks like. I mean, the spreadsheet. Both of the forms, what I love about this is as you start to walk through the steps, it's going to populate your calendar at the end. It's pretty slick. And there's the Trello board if you prefer a Trello board type of format. And also, I don't know, tell me if you can hear this. Can you hear it? No?
No, but you know what, Jen? If you unshare your screen and you share it again.
Yeah, and I have to
yeah.
click that box. I figured. Okay.
For years, I wrestled with consistency with my content. It was one thing to find some articles, throw them into a scheduler like Hootsuite or whatever, and get things out there, but I knew that was not really moving the needle for my business. Occasionally, I would create something really good, but I wasn't making the most of it. Or I would create content with no rhyme or reason. It wasn't tethered to any kind of strategy. I downloaded every solution on the internet to try and figure out something once and for all, but the truth is there was no solution. So I came up with my own. This is the Front Row CEO content planning system. Front row because I believe life is just too short to sit anywhere but in front. And CEO because that's you, you're the boss. Not only does this system allow you to create 3 months of content in just a few hours, it's very strategic content. It's aligned with your business goals. And the whole process is easy and fun. Over the last year, hundreds of content creators have put this system to the test and have raved about their results. Although I do offer a digital version of this system, I created this gorgeous planner with premium, luxurious paper because honestly, when it comes to being creative, nothing beats pen to paper. I made sure to leave plenty of space to really develop your ideas. This was made to get used and enjoyed. And because this is a system, the planner comes with short videos to walk you through each step of the process. No more struggling with what to post or where to post it. It's so liberating to walk into your office each day knowing that you've got your content covered, that it's out there working for you, that it is in line with your business goals. Grab your copy now and get ready to create 3 months worth of strategic content in just a couple of hours.
See, cozy time.
I have one of these planners. It's gorgeous.
Okay, whoops. Sorry, I'm definitely not going to make you see that. Watch that a second time. Okay, let me stop the share and start it again. See what I did there? I just presented you with an offer, kind of. I really wasn't trying to do a commercial though. I want you to see that the third option that you have is, or you can't see it because of the green screen, is this planner, and it's a little bit different than, it's a lot different than the PDFs that you got in that it allows you to completely develop your content. So there's space there to really map it out. And sometimes pen and paper is really the way to go. All right, so let's jump back in. And then I won't be jumping back out again. So it's going to be smooth rolling from here. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. You see my screen now?
Not yet.
Really? What are you seeing? Okay.
Just the Zoom people.
Okie dokie. How about now?
Yes.
All
Can I
right.
just tell you how refreshing this is that you guys are having technical difficulties? Because every meeting I host, I have the same
Listen,
ones.
You can count on it with me every
Thank
time
you.
in a Zoom. I always fumble with my Zooms. Okay.
We're there for you.
And I was going to mention this before I forget. As you're creating content, I ran across this tool. I love it. It's called Template Tribe, and It's like basically all these templates for creating content. Mika will put a link to that in the chat. I'm not supposed to be there yet, though. Hold on. I see why. Okay, here we go. All righty. All right, this is, everybody should have this PDF. Okay, you got it? All right. So we're main focus. And looking ahead beyond that, what are the ideas going to be in line with your offer, as opposed to just throwing spaghetti at the wall with your content? Like, oh, I think I'll do a blog post about this, or I think I'll do a live stream about this. It really always needs to be in line with what you're offering. Okay. The other thing that you're going to find is we've got all these special holidays in December, and you guys can Google these as well yourself. There's like national holidays, but every day pretty much of the month has some sort of wacky thing associated with it, and you can really tie these in nicely with your own messaging. Just it's about just getting a little bit creative. Also, every month has like a thing. So this is like December is Write a Business Plan month, it's Human Rights month, it's Food Service Safety month. And then, you know, just looking through here, let's see, December the 21st is Look on the Bright Side Day. You know, every life coach in this room can do some sort of content based on Look on the Bright Side Day. All right. So now we're going to talk about themes. So you want to come up with a theme or a focus for each month, and it should be based around what you're promoting that month, or a particular piece of content that you want to expand on in your social sites. So your focus could be based on the different seasons or times of the years that you launch a product, or your blog about a specific topic. So let's say you're a productivity coach of some sort. That's the example that we're using here. And you're going to be launching your productivity program the first week in January. So in December, your focus is going to be filled with topics around productivity. So week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, they all have a theme. So week 1 could be about multitasking. Week 2 could be about mindset. Week 3 could be about time constraints, and week 4 about planning. So now you've got these examples right in front of you. You could go into this document and, you know, start typing in whatever your themes are. Okay. So again, you can do this after the fact because we're going to move pretty quickly. So now that you've done that, it's time to create anchor content for each week that aligns with that theme and focus. Okay, so what do I mean about anchor content? This is really the cornerstone of this program, because anchor content is your biggest, most holistic piece of content, okay? But it doesn't mean it has to be this opus, right? It doesn't have to be a giant ebook. It doesn't have to be a really long blog post. All it has to be, it has to capture basically the full thought of that theme for the week. So if you could see here, I've got week 1, I'm going to do a blog post or a vlog or a live stream or a podcast episode about how multitasking is killing your productivity. Okay. So most of my thoughts about this topic are going to be in that piece of anchor content. Here's the other piece of great news. Your anchor content can be about, can be in any format you want. It could be just some words that you write on your Facebook page. It could be, so a Facebook post. It could be a blog if you like blogging. If you don't like blogging, it should not be a blog. If you do not like doing video, it should not be a video, because you guys, I know you already know this, but it's always worth hearing again. And that is, consistency is king. So it doesn't, if you don't do this stuff consistently, then it's not going to work. And if you don't love it, you're not going to be consistent. So we want to make you love it. You want to pick something that you truly enjoy, that you do want to sit by the fireplace and sit down and just really dive in and enjoy what you're doing. Okay. So your anchor content can be a podcast, a blog post, a Facebook post, an Instagram live. It's just your most holistic, fleshed out idea around that topic, that theme for the week. Okay. So you're gonna, so since we know week 1, the theme is multitasking, I'm gonna do this blog about how multitasking is killing your productivity. In week 2, I've set the theme at mindset. So my anchor content, blog, vlog, live stream, blogcast, whatever I choose, is gonna be mental decluttering. And you can see the other examples as well. So that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna come down here and you see how that auto populated right there where it says dieting, because I wrote that up above, and exercise. It's pretty cool. So it's gonna pull all these things down for you as you fill it out. And then you're gonna write your title here about whatever your anchor content is gonna be. So now that you've done that, you're gonna create the posts that are gonna enhance your anchor content, that are gonna get the eyeballs on your anchor content. And we're gonna follow the CEO framework, okay? So the C is for connection, the E is for expert, and the O is for original. And you wanna make sure you create 1 or 2 of each of these type of posts each week. And again, the beauty is, I don't care. It really doesn't matter if you just stay in one place. You only like LinkedIn, you hate Facebook, you don't want to go anywhere else. It's fine. You could just do LinkedIn. Same for any channel. So all of this, all that I'm talking about can be done anywhere you want it in any format that you want it. What's more important is the substance of these posts. So let me explain. So a connection post, this is the kind of content that gets your audience to talk back to you. And of course, we want all of our content to be content where people engage with us. That's the idea. But these are really very interactive. So, and you want to make sure you respond to each and every person and engage with them when they do comment. So an example of a connection post is like this or that. You've seen this on Instagram stories where someone will be like, you know, do you like the red dress or the blue dress? Should I pick this title or that title? What, do you like this movie or coffee or tea? Bagels or donuts, this or that, okay? A poll, and all the platforms have polls now. It takes 2 seconds to create a poll. You could do it on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook stories, Facebook profile, Facebook business page, Facebook groups. It changes some of them, whether or not they offer polls or not on Facebook, but somewhere on Facebook, you could do a poll. Same thing. You could say, which are your favorites? You could do a caption this, where you put a funny picture or a silly picture, ask them to capture it. Talk about a hot topic, make a list and say what's missing. These are some of my most highly engaged posts where I'll say something like, here are 5 of the best business books I've ever read. What am I missing? And people love to chime in on those kinds of posts. But see, it only takes a few minutes. And to make it more specific to the topic, since I'm talking about productivity, I might say, here are my 5 favorite books about productivity. What am I missing? And then people will hop in and engage. Okay. So now let's catch up to where we are. I recommend doing 2 connection posts a week. All right. So we've got our theme for week 1, multitasking. We've got our anchor content for week 1, which is multitasking is killing your productivity. Now, our 2 connection posts, we're going to do a poll just with a quick yes or no question. And maybe we'll do that on Facebook. And then we're going to do another post on social media that says, who's a better multitasker, you or your spouse? Okay. Again, these take seconds to create, and you get to lay it out in advance. And you're going to do the same thing for the rest of these anchor post topics. Okay. So now you would fill it out XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. Okay. So you're going to fill these out on your sheet for each week. So you're done. You're done with your connection post. You have already figured out 4 pieces of weekly content that you're going to send out. And what is that? 2, 4, 6, 8 social media posts that you're going to do for the month. You've already done that now. Okay. So now you've got your connection posts ready. Now it's time to create expert posts. What are expert posts? Expert posts are the kind of things that you do. And by the way, you're welcome to unmute yourself if you need me to clarify or ask a question. This is casual. Okay. So if you need me to elaborate, something wasn't clear. I know I'm talking really fast, but I've got a lot to get in. So that's why. But if you can slow me down if you need to. Okay, so what do I mean by expert posts? These are posts that show you as an expert. And it's important to work these in because these are the kind of things we often forget to do. We don't share the testimonials. We've got them stuck somewhere on our website, but that's not enough. You got to remind people that a lot of people are discovering you for the first time. And so you need to show them that you are an expert. So it might be that you just share a small teaching point, or you share a testimonial. And a little tip I have for you on testimonials is, you know how LinkedIn makes it so easy to ask for recommendations, right? Like there's that little button that says ask for a recommendation. So we need to be in the habit of every person that we work with, every client that we work with, go ahead and send them over, click the button and send them over a recommendation request on LinkedIn. And where it gives you the opportunity to personalize it, ask them, would love your recommendation. Also, is it okay if I share this like on my website and other places? Everybody always says yes. So now you have your LinkedIn recommendations that you can screenshot and you can share those on Instagram, LinkedIn, anywhere you want. Share them everywhere. But make sure you do 2 expert posts a week. So a small teaching point, a testimonial. Maybe you do a collab where you do a chat with another expert or an expert that is someone who you give or receive referrals from. You do an Ask Me Anything. Share your favorite tools. Everybody can do this. This is like a super easy piece of content. Just make a quick list of your favorite tools. And it might be that you even have affiliate links for some of those tools, and you make a little bit of a little bit of money off of each of those referrals as well. So here we go. We've got our expert posts, and there's examples here of what those might look like. Okay. So again, you come over here and we're going to go, see how it's auto-populated from before? Okay. Now it's time for your original post. So what do I mean by original post? This, I had to make the acronym work. It really would have been better as an A for authentic. So original, it's like the original you. Okay. This is when you pull back the curtain a little bit, and you show a little bit of the real you. This does not mean that you have to show your kids, although if you're comfortable showing your kids, your audience would love to meet them. Your pet, Belinda does a great job. If you guys watch her Friday stream, she goes out with her chickens every Friday because, you know, Belinda's so buttoned up and she's so, I mean, we know that you're playful and all that, but, you know, appropriately so. You are very professional. You are a person who needs to not make mistakes because you catch other people's mistakes. So you do need to be very polished. However, she goes out in her sweatshirt and, you know, and she goes out and she plays with her chickens. It's awesome. And it's relatable. You could do a rant, but you want it to be like a controlled rant. You know, you don't want to go out and just be hysterical crazy, but this is where you talk about maybe things that bug you in your industry, and you've got your earbuds in and you're out for a walk and talk. You talk about a time when you had a struggle or a fail, your origin story, just a little bit of behind the scenes. Show your office, show your desk, show what's in your refrigerator. And think about the content that you like. Like if there's people who whether it's an author or a blogger or a YouTube creator or a celebrity like Oprah, isn't it fun to just sort of see like how they really live? I love to see that kind of stuff. So your people feel that way about you as well. Even if you think this is so boring, nobody would ever want to hear this. Okay, so there's space here for you to create your original post. And you'll notice that I'm only suggesting one of these a week. It's not that I think you should only do one. It's just that you should do a minimum of one. I find these for a lot of people to be the hardest kind of posts to do because we do think our lives are boring, or, you know, we see other people sharing their like very glamorous offices and we look around and we're like, yep, nobody's going to see this hot mess, you know, because actually what I'm looking at right now, I would never show you. But yeah, so a minimum of one, but you could definitely do more. All right. Then I threw in this and it says bonus. Can you commit to a daily content practice for the next 30 days? What will that be? And then I've given you a couple of suggestions. One of them is to go over to Quora. If you're not familiar with Quora, it's QUORA.com. And Quora is a place where people go and ask questions. But what's so great is that you could set up an alert and you can answer questions. So like I saw someone here was a public speaking expert or like a speaking coach, right? So maybe you set an alert to get notified anytime someone asks a question about public speaking. You go in, you answer that question. If you just did that every day for 30 days, you would have an absolutely incredibly impressive library of content because it stacks all your answers up on a unique URL. Okay. So all your questions are sort of there. I mean, your answers, and it gives you a unique link. You can now share that link everywhere. You can put that link on your webpage. Also, Quora starts to see you as an authority. They start showing your answers to more people. And it's like all the other channels. People will click on your profile. They will see your website. They will go visit your website. So it's really an overlooked, wonderful resource. Same thing for Medium. It's like a blog posting website. What would happen if you just posted an article every day for 30 days? Flash briefing, we're not going to talk about that right now. Your Instagram story. What if you posted every day to your Instagram story? So just think about that. That's a bonus, but something to think about. And then this is what your calendar, I love the Excel spreadsheet does this as well, but this fillable PDF, as you go through this exercise, you're going to come out at the end and see where it has XYZ, ABC, where it's going to be completely filled out for you. And you're going to have 1 month completely of all your content, strategic content done. And yeah. And it's just as easy to do 3 months of content actually while you're at it as it is to do 1 month of content. So before I move on to the next couple of little things, do we have any questions or comments?
I do.
I just want to say that when I first learned this from Jen, like it took a couple of minutes, but the light bulb started to go off because what happened was I was just sort of flinging stuff out there. And when you work from the back, I mean, even if the product that you're selling, like to your example, insurance, if you think about it that way and you're getting to that end point, like it took, like I said, it took me a couple of minutes and then my brain exploded when I realized the power of this as opposed to, just being in the moment all the time. So it's very freeing. It's definitely an investment in time, but it's like a creative, cozy time, like Jen said. So anyway, I have a planner. It's beautiful, beautiful.
Oh, thank you, Melinda.
Hey, Jen.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's Nancy. Quick question. Is there a reason why on your calendar you start with connection, original, expert? And if you said that and I missed it, I'm sorry. Like the way it drops into the big calendar.
Out of order?
Yeah, I just didn't know if there was a rationale, or if there was any reason you could switch it up, right? Like original on Monday and then build on it the rest of the week, or was there something?
Oh yeah, no, the day, that's arbitrary. You just put those wherever you want. Yeah, good question.
Awesome.
Aaron had a question, I think.
Can I just tell you, I have an over 20-year career in corporate communications, and you just broke down this so freaking beautifully. I'm like, I am so excited. Thank you.
Yay. Well, thank you. Because I feel like I fly through that. But here's the other point, you guys, is that this is a framework, right? Obviously. And it's just a way of keeping those rails on the bowling alley, and we all do better when we have like boundaries. And so, you could totally tweak this if you wanted to do, like, for your business, your industry, if there's a certain kind of thing that you need to also make sure and fit in there. And the other thing I forgot that is terribly important, and I've got to build it into this PDF. I keep forgetting. Nika, if you're watching, we've got to add this section, which is email. So raise your hand if you've heard that it's important to nurture and email your people once a week, right? Instead of just when you're selling something, right? That's all of us, because that is good marketing. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be giving them value. And one of the best ways to do that is email, believe it or not. People do still read their emails. But the problem is, unless we are in the middle of promoting something, we don't think, we don't know what to email them. And then we send out that email 6 months later. And it's like, sorry, you haven't heard from me for a while. Hope things are great. we're running a special, and then, and then you feel kind of bad about it. So what this does, one of the best things this problem solves, is that when you create anchor content, you now have what? You have something of value to email your audience about, and you're selling nothing. You've written, you're giving a piece of value. You get to send it out to them and say, here's a tip, here's a whatever, and you link to that anchor piece of content, and now you're cooking, and you don't have to think and sweat it and be like, oh, I haven't emailed my list in 4 weeks, because you've got it all mapped out.
Jen, I think this is Sue. I think this is incredible. I've been doing content for a while too, and this is just so simple and beautiful in its simplicity.
Yay.
I have a question though. I've been posting a lot on LinkedIn lately, and I almost hold myself back and say, people don't want to hear from me all the time. Is it too much? Like, are people going to just zone out and go, oh, there she is again?
Well, I would say, like, if your content always looks the same, and I have this problem, I've got to switch some stuff up on Twitter, and Nico, we need to talk about that too. I wanted to tell you about that today. But it's like, I send out my flash briefing every day, but it like looks the same. People are seeing the same graphic every day. There's no commentary on it. It's lame, honestly. But so I need to get their attention, so that there is the chance of that. Like, if you're not, let's say, like, every day you're sharing an article from somewhere else, it's not your original it's not your thoughts, it's not your content, then yeah, I think that people's eyes glaze over and they stop seeing us. However, in terms of frequency, think about it like this. Are you keeping up with everybody's content? When you're really, there's so much of it. It's like, nobody knows if you post something twice, the same thing twice in a row. Okay. Guy Kawasaki, the guy he's a big influencer. He used to work for Apple and now he owns Canva. He made a point of, if you go to his Facebook page, he posts the same article like 5 times a day, the same post. And he says nobody ever calls him on it. Nobody ever notices, because when we look at when you're on LinkedIn and you look at people's content, you aren't typically going to their profile, and because you can't. On LinkedIn, you have to go to somebody's profile, and then you have to click down and go, like, what is it, like post an activity or something? You're not going to do that. So the way that you're seeing their content is in your feed, and you're just not lucky enough that people are seeing your posts in their feed. That's the truth. That's what I should have just said in the beginning, is that, like, you wish they saw all those posts. They don't. So therefore, you can feel free to very liberally post multiple times a day on LinkedIn and Facebook, because people they're just not seeing it. But you do want to make sure that it's just not like the same image over and over and over again, because then that's just invisible. But nobody's going to think you're obnoxious because they're not seeing it.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other comments or questions?
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So I just ordered your planner. I can't wait to receive it. So how do you know if all that content is helping you to attract or convert, your followers into clients?
Such a good question. Well, there's just the micro analytics that you're going to get as you post this stuff. Like, you're going to see engagement. So you're just going to know, like, just from looking, that you've got some likes, you've got some comments, you've got some shares. So you'll just sort of like, you'll know from that. From your emails, you're going to get replies on your emails. But ultimately, it's when you present that offer. And each one of these platforms are going to give you individual analytics, right? Like, if you're posting on LinkedIn, if you're doing a podcast, you're going to be able to see how many downloads that you have. Like, each individual platform is going to give you that feedback. But ultimately, it's at the end. And that example that I gave you with my CEO program, for example, it's, a lot of people call it pre-launch. So, like, we've got our pre-launch, we got our pre-launch, and we've got our launch, right? Pre-launch is a lot of this. It's when we are not selling anything, but we're getting our audience, like, super primed and ready, so that when we present the offer to them, they'll be ready to buy. Well, really, I had a huge distance to cover because people do not understand that they're ready for a VA long before they think they're ready for a VA. And the hard work is I got to convince them of that. So all of my content worked so hard. Like I really made sure to hit each of the objections and the pain points or just the gaps that I knew that they had in their own thinking as it related to this. So if you do this well, then when you do present the offer, you're going to make the sales because you've done your work. And so that's the ultimate evidence that it's working. But on a more like immediate timeline, you're just going to know from the platforms that you decide to use. You'll be able to know what, and then I don't have time to go into it now, but like they really are beautiful analytics. Twitter, Pinterest, Facebook, they have beautiful analytics now. Like, I don't mean just showing you numbers, but it'll show you what your most popular post was and your competitors, their most popular post. So then you can go, oh, I need to write a post about that because that is really hot. Your most engaged Facebook members, you get it all. It's just a matter of looking under the hood. Yeah, Pam? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, this is awesome. I can't even tell you how timely this is for my business, so I really appreciate it.
Great.
Question about how do you feel? So I filled out your content calendar, right? How do you post the same thing on different platforms the same day, or is that redundant? Like what's
no, it's fine. So let's say you do this really awesome blog post, okay? I'm a fan of, like, I know I said in the beginning, just stay where you're comfortable and that you enjoy. But I also think if you have a LinkedIn and you have a Twitter and you have a YouTube and you have all these, right? And they're optimized and they look good, because we don't want people over there if like your banner looks janky and it's from, 2010 and you have an update. Like, I'm just saying, like you've got it all looking nice. Then you do a really great blog post. I would send it out over email. I would put it on Instagram. I would put it on LinkedIn. Like I would post it everywhere. Now that's not repurposing. That's not what we mean by repurposing when we say repurposing, but you're distributing it everywhere. You might as well. So yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Again, remember, it's like when your mom told you came home from school and you were like, they were talking, they're all talking about me. I know that they think they were all talking about my shoes and how ugly they are. And your mom was like, nobody cares about your shoes because people care about themselves. We're all wrapped up in ourselves. So nobody is thinking twice about the fact that Pam posted that blog post all over the internet. They're not, they're not seeing it. So you have to put it out there so they see it somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I don't mean nobody cares. You know what I was saying? Like it's people just really aren't paying that much attention because but we're all just distracted with our own stuff and then all the other content that is out there. So, and that is why I came up with this system, was because you want to diversify the kind of content. So, if I do a blog post, you might not be a blog post kind of person. You don't read blog posts, but I put a lot of thought and time and energy writing that blog post. So I'm going to then do a live stream about one part of that blog post on Tuesday over on Instagram or Twitter or wherever. And then I might get your eyeballs on it. So, okay. And then how am I doing on time?
We have about 5 minutes left, Jen.
All right, then let me get back to the slide deck real quick. And there's just a couple of little things I wanted to tell you. One is that, are you seeing my deck?
Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah, so this is where I was supposed to talk about Template Tribe. So I love this place. It's all Canva templates if you use Canva. But what I like about it is that for like PDFs and workbooks and stuff, she's got, on Canva, if you go and try and do that, you can customize it for your brand, but there's never enough space for text. And this woman has created these great templates for ebooks and PDFs and all that kind of stuff that actually that are super like plug and play. So these are great for your content. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is Google My Business. Just again, it's not related to any of the stuff we just talked about, but it's very important because I'm seeing that people are not taking advantage of Google My Business. So I want each of you to go to Google and type in Google My Business, and it's going to tell you to sign in. And then I want you to sign in and then look at your business profile. First, Google yourself and see if anything comes up. But then sign in to Google My Business, and it's so easy and step by step. They're going to walk you through all the things you need to do to make sure your profile is how it needs to look. But this is really like SEO goldmine, you guys. You can upload pictures, photos, posts, specials, coupons, all that. So while you're blasting all this content out that you're creating, don't forget about Google My Business. Okay. And the other thing I wanted to tell you, this is more Google My Business. Oh, this is really super cool. I've been telling everybody about this. One of the greatest ways to grow your business is to be an active guest on as many podcasts as you could be a guest on, right? And I have been, for my podcast, I get emails all the time where I'm being pitched by a VA, and that is like their sole job is what they do. Like there's people that do this just as their job, where they reach out on behalf of some person to get them booked on a podcast. So they'll say, hey, Jen, love your podcast. Really loved episode number 42 about yada yada. I have my client, I think will be a perfect guest on your podcast. And these are 5 things I think he could talk about on your show that I think would fit with your audience. So this person has done a lot of thinking, and this email really catches my attention. And I will from time to time book podcast guests. And what I love about this, it's very process driven. So if you have an assistant, and I really recommend this for you if you have an assistant, and I probably wouldn't mess with this unless you do, okay? Or you could hire an assistant just for this, a part-time person just for this. And so I found this course, it's $27. And this girl put together all the templates you need to give to your VA to do this, the schedule that they need to do to reach out to the people, like the follow-up schedule, how to do the research to find the podcast that you'd be good on, all that stuff. It's all in there. It's $27. So I've just been telling the world about that. The other goodie I have for you, I think you'll like, is Nico will put a link to this in the chat. This is a 5 days of trainings that I did on all things social media and how to make the best use out of each of the platforms. I think you'll enjoy it, and totally free. Nika's going to put the link to that. And then lastly, I have a membership site called Front Row VIP, and it is it's $47 a month, and it's filled with all sorts of trainings. But I think the most valuable thing about it is twice a week, I go very deep in answering your questions about your business. You submit your question in advance, and I prepare for the call in advance. So I will benchmark you against your competitors. I will audit your LinkedIn or whatever, your website, whatever. If you have a question about a product or an offer or a price, I try to help you in whatever way I can. If I can't, I will refer you where you need to go. So there's 2 of those a month. We have a very wonderful active networking community. Again, a library of content. We have special activities. We just completed our fall accountability challenge. We have guest experts. So it's all the things. And that is it for my part.
That's it. That's it.
That's all you got.
I always bring out the fire hose.
I was just thinking that so often the conversations or that I have with Jen or the meetings that I'm in, I'm like, I'm getting fire hosed in the most wonderful way. Like, soak this all in. It's going to be amazing. So Jen, thank you so much. We've got all the links in there. I was sharing the link for the Front Row group as well. So ladies, I really encourage you, take advantage of, click on every link that you see in there, because there's lots of great stuff that will really help you really change your business. Absolutely change your business. So Jen, we really appreciate you being with us today. It's obviously with the huge turnout we had, people really were hungry for this. So thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday. I hope you curl up by the fire and create loads of great content and tag me if you do any of this stuff, I would love to see your work. So tag me, and Belinda and Lisa will put all my handles down in the chat.
Yes, we will. We will.
Okay.
Awesome.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye, Jen.
Thank you. This was wonderful. Thanks.
Holy Batman.
Yeah. Holy Batgirl.
Right. Like, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
One of her handles is Genergy. I think it's her Twitter handle. Can you see that? I love that. All right, Lisa.
Okay. All right. So we have 20 minutes to go in the meeting. And I know some people have had to jump off for other meetings, and, you know, we're happy for everybody being able to attend today. We're going to shift into the part of the meeting where we break into smaller groups, so you get a chance to really talk to one another and share about your who you are and what your business is. And I'll give you a prompt. You know, we're going to break you into Zoom groups. I'll give you a prompt, and that is, what is, how about this? How about one takeaway from something that Jen mentioned that you were excited to implement in your business? Okay, so we're going to pause for just a second.